Alright, and I'm live. How's it going, everybody? Joys of Sorrow, welcome to the Joys of Sorrow channel. Probably a few seconds or half a minute to let people come and whatnot. And we'll just go from there. And all I need to find. Oh, yeah, that's right. I don't have any more fucking joints. Is this a joke? Now, why would it be a joke? It's not April 1st anymore. Anyways. Hey, well, you gotta wait, sweetie. You're gonna wait a little bit. Anyways. We got one person here, two persons here. But, anyways, welcome to the show, guys. Hey, Simmons. Hey, Charles. Since you guys are the first two here. Oh, my beard. Well, here's the problem with the beard being a joke, Charles. If it was a joke, there's no way I can take back the joke. So, no, the beard is not a joke. My beard needed to trim, you know. I like to trim down the whole beard, you know, at least once every 2 years. You know, once every 15 months, 16 months. And no, that is not boogers. That's actually more white hair that's starting to pop out because I am getting old. So, and in my family, we gray out a lot. And we gray out young. So, yep, that's what's happening. All my grays are gonna pop out now since I cut that. So, anyways, guys, I'm feeling much better than I was the last time I streamed. Am I in my early 50s? No, I feel like I'm in my early 50s though. You know, for being close to my mid 30s. But again, haven't been feeling good, so I'm feeling a lot better. Kiddo is doing great. Kiddo is in school. Dropped him off earlier today. And let's just trying to get my stuff together here. Good morning, Mac. Good morning, Robert. Make sure I'm on live chat and not top chat. There we go. And today I got me some Doughboy. So, and actually, I have a question for you guys. I tried watching Cause's stream yesterday. I missed it, only to figure out that all of Cause's streams are now gone from his channel. What's the deal with that? If anybody knows, please enlighten me. Mac, have you left yet? Also is another question that I wanted to ask. How's it going, Tim? The Doughboy batch this time around went dark on me. Well, yeah, I looked at I usually Cause does not take down his live streams. I mean, he might take down one or two at a time, but this time around, like all his live streams were gone. Looks like Sam just started streaming. Also, if he starts streaming, if Cause starts streaming in a little while, I'll just shut this off and shut this off and go watch his stream. Thursday? Oh, okay, cool. So, you heading straight to your previous camp, or are you gonna go camp with some other people? Look around where I'm at. Make sure there's no popo or children. Casa stream stays that day, then it goes to, then they go up to Patreon. Oh, okay. Okay, yeah, so he's trying to push his Patreon game. I understand. I get it. I just hope he understands that he's not, if his Patreon game is cut down, he's not the only one, and it has a lot to do with the whole Sargon of Akkad debacle. That's kind of one of the reasons why I've suggested to him Subscribe Star. it's Sargon really had an effect. Not on Patreon. Not so much in the sense that not so much in the sense of the famous people, the really really famous celebrities and YouTubers. But for the most part, the channels that most people listen to were affected. Sargon has a strong, big fan base, both in the U.S. and in Europe. You know, him being British and shit. So when they did what they did to Sargon and booted him off Patreon, a lot of people who are fans of a lot of other content creators also happen to be Sargon fans. So in solidarity with Sargon, especially what. All right, Mad Mac, you have a good day. Enjoy your breakfast. But a lot of people upset with Patreon for what they were doing just decided they were done with it. And unfortunately, Sargon was the only one who lost money there. But pretty much anybody who, followed Sargon and quit, anybody else that they followed, anybody else that they subscribed and patron money to, was affected as well. And it turned out to be a lot of people. I'm assuming about thousands of people, at least maybe even tens of thousands of people. But that is a dramatic effect to have on people trying to make money off of YouTube or doing content on the internet. So yeah, it's Subscribestar seems to be the better alternative. Patreon is, I think, in my personal opinion, Patreon is fucked. Patreon now has this really bad image of it not being for the little people. So while there will be more famous people and more higher up YouTuber or a certain class of person still using Patreon, overall, I think if you want to call it the people's subscription page or the people's chosen method of helping content creators online will be Subscribestar. Hands down to that. I see the dog. I see the dog, sweetie. No, you cannot go play with the dog. Why? Because you don't do well with little dogs. You will try to assert yourself as the biggest bitch in the yard until a bigger dog shows up. And some people don't appreciate that. I'm watching you. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead and take my first stab. So, I do want to run something with you guys. My life's goals is to spend some time of my life full-time living. And especially with the cost of living in LA or in most major cities these days, in the coasts, and I like the coast, it's just too expensive to rent. And honestly, renting an apartment, renting a property, renting without any aspirations of is a waste of fucking money. It's an absolute waste of fucking money if you really consider it. If maybe I honestly think that rentals were considered a temporary thing, never a permanent situation. But unfortunately, like in places here, like in LA, in the big coastal cities in California, there's so many people, so much need for housing, and no rent control, that people pretty much and I'm not talking about private property owners. I'm talking about like corporate property owners, like the companies that are building these huge, 100+ apartment complexes in many of the major cities in the West Coast. You know, most of these people don't fucking care. They don't care to actually house people. They're not looking into the economical hardship or the true necessity of the community. They're just looking at ways of making money off of you for a period. Um, if you think I'm bullshit, why do you think there's no more rent to own in LA? I mean, it's pretty much almost non-existent unless it's like a private deal that you make. I think that, and honestly, I think that's the only way now that you get rent to own in the West Coast is it's a private deal, a private agreement, a private contract between you and the owner directly. It's not something that even companies promote. Now, when I was in Texas, there were real estate companies that actually pushed rent to own, you know, at the owner of the home's request. And it wasn't a common thing, but it wasn't such an uncommon thing. Here in LA, I have yet to see rent to own. Now, I've heard from somebody that they've done rent to own up in Northern California, but again, this was a direct deal with the owner of the property and the person purchasing it. So, uh, so again, full-time RV living, if I'm staying in California, is just logical. Uh, Now there are we have rent centers. Um, there are errands here, limited errands, but they are here. Um, but there aren't any rent to own here. As far as I know, I think center has had like rent to own things on like stuff like couches and things of that nature. Not exactly you know a house. I don't even think they'd do like a car or anything like that either. But again, I've never used those kind of things. I don't believe in rent to own in the sense of small things. Vehicle is understandable. A house is understandable. Those are two very big purchases of items that you can't really afford, and can take you time to pay off depending on your finance. But yeah, so full-time RV living is a solution to that if I continue to live in the West Coast. At the same time, if I decide I don't want to live in the West Coast anymore and I want to move more into the Central States, I really don't have any intentions of going to the East Coast. The only place I am even curious about in the East Coast is Florida, and it's more for people watching shit that happen in Florida and fishing. Really, I don't really see anything pleasurable about living in Florida when you hear about the stories that happen in fucking Florida. Um, but having an RV gives me an advantage. It would basically, I have a home with me. I am traveling and looking for an area where I'm going to want to settle. If I don't want to pay rent for a lot, eventually I can find a cheap plot of land and, settle in that plot of land and slowly build myself up, the home and all that. Mocha, stop. Be a good girl. Such a crybaby. Such a crybaby. So the RV gives me much more opportunities. Then there's a whole you can camp in it, although I'm not really RVs. For me, when it comes to camping in RVs, let's be honest, it's glam. Streaming guys, I'm jumping off. You guys don't know who Cause is? Well, fuck you. No, I'm just kidding. Go on search on YouTube, look up Community Cause, COZ, and be right now. I'm heading over that way.